Hello and welcome to Mastering Pivot Tables in Excel to analyze data quickly for better business decisions. I am your coach Vinai Prakash. In this video, I am going to show you a very simple and clever way to transform your data for business analysis. We will convert the data in a pivot table to show the value as a percentage of grand total, percentage of row total, or even percentage of column totals. Now this will enable us to see the data in a different light, and we can generate new insights of the data just by applying these simple data transformation techniques. To get started, we will open the sorting and filtering pivot data Excel file. We have used this file before also. So I'm going to insert a new pivot table, click OK, and I'm going to select the sales rep and the quantity. So as we can see, all the data is sorted in the ascending order of the salesperson name, and we see the quantity. Now this is quite good without having us to write any single formula, but we can do better than this. We will now convert all the quantities into percentage. That means the total 4161, this grand total will be considered 100%. And we will now calculate how much did Adams do, how much did Cole do, how much did Moss do. So for each of these salespeople, we will see their sales as a percentage of the grand total. Now when we see the data as summarized by quantity, it seems good, but we are not able to get a very clear picture of how much did Adams do compared to other people. Now if I told you that I secured 136 marks out of 185, is it easy for you to perceive did I do good on this test or not? That's because it is not based on 100%. But if I told you I got 89% or I got 56%, immediately you are able to get a better picture. That's because when we reduce numbers to a percentage, it is much easier for us to visualize the data from 1 to 100. So what we are going to do is to transform the data and see how much did Adams do compared to the grand total, how much percentage. And this does not require us to write any formulas. We can do it simply by using our mouse and the pivot table inbuilt features in Excel. All you need to do is go to the sum of quantity here, click on this and choose value field settings. We click on it and we are shown the sum of quantity, the sum. This time we will click on show value as. So we click on show value as and it shows us no calculation. What we are going to do is to click on this drop down arrow and pick the first one, percentage of grand total. Choose this and click OK. And that's it. All the data has now been converted from numbers into percentages. The grand total is 100%, and now we can see pretty easily that Adams contributed 9% to the grand total. Byron did better, he contributed 10%, whereas Herman did the most, 40%. In fact, we could now sort it in the descending order and clearly see who contributed most to the bottom line. So it looks like with Herman and Moss, we got almost 60% of the sale, and the remaining 40% came from the remaining 4 salespeople. In fact, like this, we can now see that almost 80% of the sale came from the top 4 salespeople. So in this way, we can quickly analyze the data not by numbers but by percentages. Now, you may be thinking, I also want to see the percentage. Now, you may be thinking, I also want to see the quantity. Well, we can do that pretty easily. Simply drag one more copy of the quantity and place it in the values area. So we have our quantity and then we have our percentages. As we have covered before, you could rename this to be called as quantity and put a blank space at the end so that it won't conflict. And for this, you could call it quantity percentage. Alright, so we are now able to see the quantities like Herman sold 1700, which is 40% of the total sales, and Cole only sold 252, which only contributed 6% to the company's total sales. So this is a very simple way for us to analyze the data. Let's do some other transformations to see what else can be done. So I'm going to change the pivot table slightly. Let's remove the percentage and let's bring in the category. Now we are looking at the sales by the different salespeople for each of the product category. Again, it is difficult for us to see who sold what. So instead of looking at by quantity, we are going to convert this into numbers. So instead of looking at it by quantity, we will convert it to percentages. Again, we go to this value field settings, click on it, go to show value as, and this time we will pick up percentage of column total. That's it. Choose percentage of column total, click OK. So what has happened is every column has become 100%. That means it shows you what is the total sales by each salesperson. So if Byron did 100%, what did he really sell? Well, looks like Byron sold most tents, 91%, followed by sleeping bags, and he did not sell any of the backpacks or accessories. However, Herman sold 58% accessories and 41% tents. He didn't sell any sleeping bags. So in this way, we can see the total product mix of which salesperson sold which product category and what's the percentage. Similarly, we can get a similar breakdown by going back to value field settings, show value as, and this time we will choose percentage of row total. When you choose the percentage of row total, every row will become 100%. That means if we sold 100% accessories, how did this number come up? So it seems like Herman sold 58% of the accessories, followed by Moss and 25%, followed by Adams 15%. So for any product, we can now see for this product mix, what are the contributing salespeople? Moss 36%, Fuller 51%. So the same data, but we are able to slice and dice it, analyze it in different ways simply by clicking percentage of grand total, percentage of row total, or percentage of column total. Each of these selection provides us with a different insight, and it is really useful in real life. So I would suggest that you practice now with the Excel file sorting and filtering pivot data and create a pivot table of your choice. Move the data in the way you want it and then play with the show value as percentage of grand total, percentage of row total, and percentage of column total. You could even do this on one of your own Excels from your work to see how it can be beneficial to look at the data in this way. That's it for this video. All the best.